What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Absalom, man. I'm just, I'm just over here, and I'm just chilling. I'm just trying to wonder what is going on. What is going on here? Joe Biden has, who calls himself a Christian, has declared Easter Sunday, the resurrection day of Jesus Christ, as the day that we recognize transgender people. Let me see. I think I have a snippet of the or a copy of the declaration itself. This is crazy. I'm not understanding this at all. Let me see where we at here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this is wild, man. Oh, here we go. Here, let me read this to you. I wish I could put it on the screen, but I guess I don't have a setup like that right now. So let's see here. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024, as Transgender Day of Visibility. I call upon all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation, and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 29th day of March in the year of our Lord 2024, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 248. Wow. He had the nerves to even say the year of our Lord. You know, Joe Biden called himself a Christian, and Obama called himself a Christian, And so both of these men, one of them have Obama approved gay marriage, all right? And um, now Joe Biden does this. Those acts are completely satanic, man. I mean, because I read the Bible, and so um, it clearly shows that God doesn't approve of homosexuality in no way, fashion, or form, or any parts of homosexuality, right? Mm. And no parts of it, And so for these guys who call themselves Christians, and they completely go against their book, they go against their own belief. So, but my problem was this: like in California, man, California is trying to pass a law that says they're trying to pass a law that says that if your child, say if you have a son, and your son says, hey, Dad, I don't think I should be a little boy, that I want to be a little girl, right? And so if you don't affirm and reinforce your son's identity of himself, then you can be held liable and you can go to jail for child abuse. That right there is absolutely absurd. That's ridiculous. In my opinion, you know what that opens up the door for? That opened up the door for this. Your child will go and report you to the police if you don't reaffirm the identity that he believes of himself, that he's what he see himself as. Okay, he'll go to the cops and he'll report you, and you'll have yourself, not your child, taken away from you, but you'll have you taken away from your child. You can be arrested. You can go to jail if you don't affirm your child's identity of themselves. Now, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I haven't had that heard that they passed it, but it's just shameful that this stuff is even on the ballot, man. You know what I mean? That's just absurd to me that they would even put something like this on the ballot, And so ultimately, what's going to happen is that our kids are going to have more control over our relationship than we do. Right now, we have control over how, what our kids consume, um, uh, uh, their whole entire lifestyle. We provide food, we provide shelter, everything for them. We give them their instructions. It's our job to raise them up into, good people, um, good law abiding people, right? But soon that, if they can continue to pass laws and stuff like this, man, or get stuff like this passed, all that's going to be out the window. Your control as a parent is going to be burnt, and your child is going to control the narrative. And this is just ridiculous. So, um, homosexuality is what? It is ultimately an identity crisis, right? So you have a man saying that, hey, I want to be identified as a woman. Hey, I'm a woman. I was supposed to have been a woman at birth, but something went wrong. Okay. So you are genetically a man, but you say you're a woman, or you're a woman and you say that you're a man. So the fact that you're not identifying who you are on a basis of reality, not something that you have thought of uh, of of what you want to associate yourself as. All of that stuff is subjective, but in the objective, in the real world, you're a man or you're a woman, and this is who you are by nature. This is who you are biologically. Whether you say that, nature made a mistake, whether made whether nature made a mistake or not, it made you a man, and you say that you were supposed to be a woman, it still doesn't change the fact that you're still a man, or it doesn't change the fact that you're still genetically, right, a man or genetically a woman. So imagine me. Say that if I went out and I said, "Hey, man, I don't, I don't, I don't." What if I went out and said, "Hey, I'm not a man. I'm actually a dog. Ruff, ruff," and I go around barking like a dog because I don't identify as a man anymore, but I identify as a dog, right? Dogo Argentino. Let's make it a good dog at least. And so, and if I go in the presence of a psychologist or some kind of behavioral professional, and I tell them, woof 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 woof, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. Guess what? They're gonna tell me I'm crazy. They're gonna tell me I need some help. But essentially, all it is really I'm having an identity crisis. I think that I'm a dog, or I think that I believe that I was supposed to be a dog, that there was a mistake made. I was made into a man instead of a dog. So now that I have a conscious knowledge of the fact that I was really supposed to be a dog, I'm going to act out my life as a man, but I'm acting out as a dog. I'm gonna act out who I will believe that I was supposed to be, a dog. So now, is that behavior acceptable? Would that be acceptable in society? Right? Can I go to a dog interview? I mean, a dog. Can I go to a job interview? Right? And introduce myself as Absalom Shakur, the dog. I'm a dog. Rah, rah, rah. I need dog accommodations. All right. I need a fire hydrant when I get ready to go take a leak. I don't want to go. I can't go to a bathroom and use the bathroom like a man. Just like these homosexuals, they want to dress up like women, and they want to go into women's bathrooms. Okay, they want to go use the bathroom like a woman, sit down like a woman, and they got a whole entire penis. All right, and they still want to go in there. So I want to act like a dog, and as a dog, I can't go to the restroom and stand up and piss like a man. I need to pee like a dog. So please go get me a fire hydrant. And when it's time for me to take my break at work, I want to get on my hands and knees and cock my leg up, and I want to piss on the fire hydrant, or get me a tree or something. But I want to go and walk on all fours, and I want to go piss on the tree or piss on the wall or piss on the fire hydrant. You know why? Because I identify as a dog. So if a man can identify as a woman, then why can I identify as a dog? It's the same identity crisis. You are one thing, but you want to perpetuate that you are something else, something that you are not by nature, right? Like I said, if it's a mistake or not, that is subjective and that is in your mind. That does not mean that it's a reality. You're living in a facade. And what's messed up about it is that teachers and schools and stuff, if a young man or a young woman comes to them and say, "Hey, I want to be gay. I don't want to be this person or whatever. This is who I want to be." The teacher can't deny them that and say, "Oh no." And then, as a matter of fact, the um, the American Association of Psychologists, I guess they govern all the psychologists, in the United States. They're under that banner, and they have been given a rule that says that the same thing. You have to reinforce someone's identity of themselves. So there's an identity crisis going on, and you have to identify with their identity crisis, and you have to reinforce that for them. I thought it was the job of psychologists to help people out with stuff like that. Where if you have an identity crisis, they help you, to come back down to reality, to say, no, this is what you are, or this is what it is. They help you to find reality, help you to clear up your reality. Not find reality there; it's already found because you live in reality. But to help you clear it up, you know, they help schizophrenic people or something to find their bearing in the real world, right? But here you have people in the homosexual community; they're not required to find their bearing in the real world. They don't have to, act like a real person or act like in the real world, right? And that's just crazy to me. I just don't understand that. So now the fact that they're pushing this on the kids, man, they're pushing it on the children, you know, and it just sucks. It sucks because now here we are reinforcing poor identity choices of children, you know. But this is sort of, even though I don't agree with it, the agenda makes sense to me because when I was in the fifth grade, we had to do a thing on stage, a little event on stage. And what the event was, it says, well, we had to sing a song. All me and my friends, we all lined up on stage and we sang, "I believe the children are the future." Um, how it goes? "I believe the children are the future. Sometimes let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. You're the answer of pride to make it easier. Let the children laughter the reminder. I believe the children are the future." And that's true. The children are the future. So what I think is happening here is that we have some people out here who have a vision of what they believe that the future should look like. And the way that we do this is to mold the children because the children are the future. And so when you're saying that, okay, well, we're going to have a future full of people that have identity crisis, all right? And that really can't be good. We're going to have a future with a bunch of people who seeks to evade reality, who don't want to be accountable for actions that are, for actions that occur and things that occur in a real world, and in the real world scenarios. So we're going to have a bunch of people who our future is going to be filled with a bunch of people who 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 want to live fictitious realities, who are in the real world, but they want to live a fantasy. Okay. So our lawmakers, our doctors, and our lawyers are going to be people um, who have a mind state, they have a fictitious mind state. They don't base things on reality. It's not The here and now for them is what reality is, what is perceived in their own mind, right? And I look at it like this, man. The people that's, you want to be called non-binary, and all of this. Well, if that's the fact, I mean, not the fact, if that's the case, you're going to get offended if I don't address you according to your false reality. So look, you're having an identity crisis, and you want me to participate in the poor mental health behavior of an identity crisis, all right, by acknowledging the poor perception of yourself. You're a man, and you have a self belief that you're a woman, even though you got all of the junk of a man, even though you have all of the parts, all the functioning parts of a man, you still want to be called a woman, and you want to be offended because I don't want to participate in your fictitious reality. I don't want to participate in um, uh, uh, um, uh, 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 your poor idea of yourself. I don't want to participate in your identity crisis. All right. I don't believe that identity crises are healthy. And I don't think that, I don't think that identity crises are healthy. I don't think that they help you. I don't think that they help you in a positive way. It's not really conducive. It doesn't contribute to a result, a positive result, that is. This is just subjective garbage that you have imposed on yourself, and you want to impose on other people. Well, I don't want to participate in that. So if that's the case, then you want to be called non-binary, but who are you? Who are you to say what I have that I have to call you this, or I have to address you in a sense that's not based on reality, And I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that at all. To say, oh well, you got to call me this, or else I'm gonna sue you, or else I'm gonna feel this type of way, or I'm gonna cancel culture. I'm gonna cancel you up the culture and do all. That's just ridiculous, man. Right? Who are you? What authority are you? What power do you possess to say that? Okay, well, this is who I want to be addressed as, and you have to address me as that. No, I don't. That's just ridiculous. Well, if that's the case, then I want to be addressed as master. I identify as a human being who enjoys subverting and having control over other human beings. Okay. And so I want to be addressed as master. So from now on, you call me Master Shakur. You call me Master Absalom. Whatever it is that I want Master to be in front of my name. And if you don't call me Master in front of my name, I'm going to be offended by that. Okay. So basically that's what it boils down to. You know, is that a am I a real master in my every day-to-day life? Nope. But guess what? You're not a real woman in your every day-to-day life either. You're not a real man, woman, in your everyday life either. So, but yeah, man. But when they push this stuff on the kids, it just get ridiculous, and I'm not digging it at all. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And so, Joe Biden, bro, you going down a bad road, man. Obama already went down a bad road, and now you went down another bad road. All right, that's crazy. You're gonna. Let me see. What did he say about the American? He said, what did he say here? He said, I call upon the Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and the voices of transgender people. The lives and the voices of the people who oppose the authority of God, who oppose God and the structure that God has set for them. You know, This is what Joe Biden is calling the American public to do. And they did it on Easter, man. Come on, the resurrection day. The resurrection is, I guess theologically the most important day in all of creation, all of created history. That is the day that Jesus rose from the dead. He died for the sins of the whole entire world. He rose from the dead to verify that that was done. To show that his authority is preeminent, that he actually does have the power. He said in the Bible, we said, I don't nobody take my life from me. I lay it down of myself, and I take it up as well. There were other people in the Bible who died and came back to life, but he's the only one that died and came back to life on his own accord. On his own accord. And so, but yeah, man, so this is a complete violation. Every Christian out there should be offended by this. I'm a Christian myself. That's what I identify as. And that's something that's based on reality, not this false reality of this transgender community. I mean, it's crazy. So look, you have children. So our children now are able to they're able to choose. They're able to choose what gender that they want to be. They're not even old enough to buy cigarettes. You can't even go to the store and buy no alcohol. You can't even support yourself. You're not even old enough to get a job, but you're old enough to decide what gender you want to be. That don't even make no. That's just crazy. Hold on, my coffee getting cold. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I'm back. Sorry about that. My coffee was getting cold. So if anybody that hopped in here while I was heating up my coffee, we're just talking about Joe Biden's decision to disrespect the Lord's Day, the day of resurrection, and to disrespect that day, and to call it Transgender Day of Visibility. That's just ridiculous, man. So I don't see Joe Biden. He wouldn't have put that day on Ramadan. He wouldn't have put it on what other on any Jewish holidays. Maybe well, it is the Resurrection Day. No, actually, it's not. That's a Christian holiday. A lot of Jews don't believe in the Messiah. But Yom Kippur, let's say you put transgender visibility day on that. But they don't do that because guess what? They're so sensitive to other people's religion and other people's views. But you're not sensitive to your own views. I mean, not your own views, but your own religion's views and feeling. You just pooped all over Christianity, and you call yourself a Christian. You wasn't sensitive. Joe Biden wasn't sensitive to Christianity at all. You know, because in the Christian scriptures in the Bible, it is clear from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament that the same sex union are not cool. That is not acceptable to God in any way, fashion, or form. And for you to say that, hey, America, get behind me, you know, I don't know. I will tell you, Joe Biden, to get behind me, Satan. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, what's next on the agenda? So we're just having some talks here, man, talking about the world, what's going on or whatever. Um, I don't understand the Democrat agenda. I think that any man or any person out there that's a felon, that you don't have no business being a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. Um, I don't think that I'm necessarily a Republican either. Um, I guess there's stuff about both parties that I really don't agree with, but I lean more to the Republican side. And the reason why is because I think that the Democrats are immoral in every way, fashion, or form. That they don't stand for things like the Bible. They say they stand for democracy. They stand more for liberalism than democracy, in my opinion. Because the Democrats, they support abortion, the murder of innocent children. They say that anybody should be able to do anything that they want to do with their bodies and all this other stuff. And so their views and the things and the agendas that they push are just all things that's based around immorality. They just poop on morality. You know, they push for same-sex marriage. They push for the what is that update available? Oh, they push for immoral things, man, homosexuality. They push for abortion, the murder of innocent children. You know, speaking about abortion, has anybody ever heard of a partial birth abortion? Partial birth abortion is this. I think the baby can be up to 5 months, 4.5 or 5 months. So what the doctors do is they put their hands inside the vagina and they take the baby. The baby usually comes out here first. So they spin the baby around inside the womb and they pull it out by the legs, right? And then they turn it around so that the back of the head is facing the doctor. And then they take a little a tube with a vacuum on the bottom of it, and they stick it in right here, right at the base of the skull, right? And they suck all the brains out. And so when they suck the brains out, of course, the child dies. And they say that it's not murder. It's a partial birth because the head is still inside the womb. That's a partial birth abortion. And then they take the body parts, they put them on ice, and they hold them and they sell them to, for research, stem cell research and stuff like that. But that's a partial birth abortion. That's crazy. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of that, but look it up. Mm. And that's the type of stuff that the Democrats want to pass. That's what they want. That's what they want to allow. Right? They have a pill that you can take, an abortion pill. And what it is, when a woman takes the pill, the pill goes inside and it dissolves. I think what is the word, conflagration? It's like a fire inside the womb, and it's like an acid, and it just disintegrates the bones, the tissue, and everything. Just completely. It's not even an embryo no more. It's a child. And from what I understand is several women have had serious health complications because as the acid is eating and devouring the flesh, the baby inside is fighting it off. Some women have had their ovaries damaged because of the excitement of that's going on inside the womb. The child is fighting for life. It doesn't want to die. It's fighting to hang on. It's being burned. It's going through pain and suffering. you know and so these are the things that the Democrats push. They support Planned Parenthood and places like this. Did you know the I don't know the exact details of it, but you can look it up too. Is that the woman that started Planned Parenthood has a racist background. So it made sense for her to want to put all of the Planned Parenthood in the ghettos, for the young Black women and the young, Latino women to abort their children. But if you go to places like Beverly Hills, and let me see, uh, um, uh, um, what others, Woodland Hills and places like that, and in Arizona and Scottsdale and Paradise Valley, you don't see Planned Parenthoods, planted in the corner, in the corner, on the corners of these places, because they don't want them to kill their children. But it's okay to have a Planned Parenthood on every other block in the lower economic classes, because it's all right for you to get rid of your babies. Population control. We don't ever want to come to the situation to where the minorities are no longer the minorities, or that the white people or the Europeans want to be, that they become the minority. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're already the minority on a global scale. There's more people of color on the planet than there are people that don't have color. Look at India. Hold on, let me see something. India, they're dark skinned people. They are people of color. What is the population of India?
In 2022, the population of India was 1,417,173,173.
You hear that? 1.5 billion people of color occupy India. Let's look at another country. How many people are there in China?
In 2022, the population of China was 1,412,175,000.
Did you hear that? Another 1.5 billion people. It's only 7 billion people on the planet. So then look at places like, then you got, let me see. What is the population of Mexico?
In 2022, the population of Mexico was 127,504,125.
127 million people in Mexico, people of color. How many people are in Jamaica?
In 2022, the population of Jamaica was 2,827,377.
2 million people, 2,800,000 people in Jamaica. How many people are there in the Dominican Republic?
In 2022, the population of the Dominican Republic was 11,228,821.
Whoa. So there's 7 billion people on the planet. So we're already up to almost 3 billion people. How many people are there in the Polynesian Islands?
According to Worldometer, the current population of Polynesia is 734,796 as of Sunday, March 31st, 2024, based on the latest United Nations estimates. Polynesia population is equivalent to 0.01% of the total world population.
What is the population of black-skinned people on the continent of Africa? Let me see. How many people are there on the continent of Africa?
In 2016, the population of Africa was 1,216,130,000.
1.2 billion people on the continent of Africa. Africa, they have white people there, South Africans and stuff like that, but predominantly there are going to be people of color there. So anyhow, that's let me see. We're almost up to 4 billion, 4.5 billion, 4 or 5. So, like I say, the on the global scale, white people are the minority on the global scale. If you look at it like that, kind of threw myself off. I forgot how I even got on that. But anyhow, oh yeah, Planned Parenthood. So this is the type of stuff. This is the type of stuff that the. Hold on 1 second. It's almost time to restart. You've chosen to restart your device as soon as possible. When the update is pending and one is ready now, we'll restart and install this update. Sooner if you can. All right, well, let's just go ahead and restart it now then. Let's go. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm trying to update my PC. It's been running kind of slow. And stuff like that. So yeah, man. But it's pretty wild though. So the Democrats, they support a lot of immoral agendas. Just ridiculous stuff, man. So at least Donald Trump does stand for morality. All right. He has some other flaws and issues that that I guess people are entitled to, but at least he does stand for what God stands for. The Democrats don't deny the things that God denied, and they don't stand for the things that God stands for. And so that right there's a problem for me. If you're a felon, you should have no business being a Democrat either. Democrats, they're the one that did 3 strikes. They're the one that implemented 85% truth in sentencing. They're the ones that created all of the, more harsher sentencing guidelines. Prison used to be 65%, and they pushed it in, during I think it was during Bill Clinton's time, and they jacked it up from 65% to 85%. Almost 100% of your time that you want to do. So yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff. So they have an immoral foundation. So let's talk a little bit about morals. Where do morals come from? Is it cool, or is it safe to say that one human being can impose morals on another human being, or tell another human being what's right and what's wrong? Technically, no, you can't. In a relativistic sense, you can't. All right. In a relativistic sense, to say that I can't say that what's right for me is right for me. Okay. And what's right for you is right for you. What's wrong for me is wrong for me. What's wrong for you is wrong for you. All right. That's only in the absence of morals, though. So if I say that, hey, man, if I tell another man, hey, it's wrong for you to punch that guy, how do I know that it's wrong for you to punch that other man? All right. How do I know that's wrong? What outside information do I have? Because technically, one human being can't dictate to another human being what's right or what's wrong. Because how? How do you know? You're human too. You're in the same space that I'm occupying. We have the same flesh and blood. We're ontologically the same. We're in the same boat. Okay. It may be some, intellectual difference. Some people may be craftier or what considered smarter than other people, but other than that, we're still the same. Morals require, true morals require it's required that it comes from an outside source. Like, say for instance, God. We say that God um, is the has an absolute moral standard. So God, being the creator, He gives us our rights and our wrongs. And so, because humans are equal with each other, one human can't say what's right and what's wrong for another human. How do you know, right? But because God is transcendent and God is outside of this thing called creation, he's outside of it, but he's inside of it as far as his participation. But him as a being, God is transcendent. He's completely and totally transcendent. That means that transcendent, that means he goes above and beyond, right? Of of what we are. And because he is transcendent and he's not subjected to the limitations of humanities, or the limitations of humans. He's not subjected to those things. He's the one that made it. So for him to say, all right, this is right and this is wrong, then another human can say, hey man, it's wrong for you to punch him. How do you know it's wrong? Because somebody greater than me, higher than me, the person that made me, said that it was wrong, right? So this is where our morals come from. Our morals come from an outside agency, and that outside agency is God. So, but in the democratic sense, it doesn't work like that. They believe they are relativists. Excuse me, I'm a little bit hungry. So the relativist says this. The relativist says, hey, what's true for me is true for me. What's true for you is true for you. But the reality of it is, something can't be true and false in the same relationship. Either it's true or it's not true. It can't be both. You know, one of them has to be wrong. That's just nonsensical to say. But in relativism, that is true. And say, well, what's right for me is right for me, and what's wrong for you is wrong for you, or whatever. And that's just absolutely. This is what I heard once. He said the relativist says that what's right for you was right for you, and what's right for me is right for me. Until you steal his wallet, and once you rob him and stick him up and steal his wallet, and he said, "Hey, you can't do that. That's wrong." Wait a minute. But what's right for me is right for me. Remember, and what's right for you is right for you. So me getting this gun and sticking you up and taking your money or taking your wallet is right for me. And as a true relativist, you have to accept that, right? That's funny. Yeah, man. But the absence of morals is a terrible thing, And to people want to, they want to abort babies, talking about, oh, they're not people yet. Well, it has a brain, it has a heart, it has eyes, it has fingers and toes. If you saw a baby that was 4 months, 5 months years old, outside the mother's womb, laying dead on the ground, right? So when you saw it there, what would you say? A dead baby. Or would you say, oh, there's a dead thing, but it's not a person yet? No, you're going to see it has fingers. You're going to see it has toes. They have all the features of a human being. But that don't make sense. But because it's still in the womb, and it still have all the features and all the functions of a regular human being. It got a digestive system. It got a heart. It got a pancreas that produces sugar. It got all those necessary things that require a human being to subsist. But for the sake of women's rights or whatever, it's not a human being. There's a doctrine out there called traducianism, where in traducianism it talks about when conception is a person a human being at conception or not at conception. And the only logical conclusion to come to, what I believe, remember, logic doesn't have any type of substance or anything. It's just a device to prevent people from, applying their own prejudices and stuff to bring stuff down to its most reasonable conclusions. So, if something is conceived, upon conception, the Y chromosome and X chromosome that come together and they create zygote. Right? Zygote doesn't have a gender at the time, but guess what? It is a potentiality to become a human being. I say potential because maybe it doesn't make full term, but the potentiality for it is to become a human being. So that means that it's not necessarily something else before it is, before it solidifies gender and things like that. Right? So you have actuality and you have potentiality. So the actuality of it, well, let me say it this way: it's potentially going to be a boy or a girl, but it is actually, once it becomes like zygote, once the egg and the sperm come together and they create the zygote, right? And it begins to develop and it begins to form into a full human being. But if it's starting out as what? The embryonic stages of humanity. It has to go through, it is a human being going through stages of development, but it's still a human being. It's not like it is some type of other being first before it begins to go to the stages of a human being. So when it's the sperm over here and it's the egg over here, okay, these are two separate entities, right? But it's still human sperm and it's still a human egg. But when they come together, boom, these two become one. Sometimes they turn into two, but these two zygote, this X chromosome, this Y chromosome, they come together and they become one. All right. Like I said, it is the embryonic stages of human development. But key word, human development. If it's not human upon conception, then what else is it? Scientists, you tell me, what else is it then? What do you call it? If it's not, if it's something beside a human being that's undergoing human development. You see what I'm saying? So I think that upon conception, yes, it is a human being in the developmental stages of its humanity, right? In the developmental stages. Here's an interesting fun fact. When the X chromosome and the Y chromosome come together and they create zygote, right? Inside that one little egg or whatever it is, the embryo, there's enough chemical instruction, DNA instruction, to fill 500,000 book pages. And in those instructions, it says it's going to be, this is what color is going to be. It's going to have this many finger, this many toes. These are the instructions on how the type of amino acids and the proteins you're going to need to make this, the nail, right here, and these are the schematics, and this is the nail is only going to grow out this far, and this is how long it's going to take to to implement the building blocks to create this ivory material. All of those instructions, the color of when they get this size and this big, they're going to have a mustache, and this is what color is going to be. This is what color the eyes are going to be. All of those chemical instructions are inside that one little. It's about the tip of a pen, the size of a tip of a pen, and it carries over enough chemical instructions to cover 500,000 pages in a book, and that's pretty. That's huge. But my point is, it's a child, and and these Democrats, they don't look at it like that. They just say, okay, well, it's a woman's choice. She can do what she wants to do with her body. I say it like this: I don't believe that it's a. Who said that a woman's that her body was her own? She didn't make it. Your life is not even your own. Your life was given to you by someone else. You never had a life before. So guess what? You really don't know how to live a life. The person that gave you your life gives you instructions on how to live a life. Because as human beings, we never had a life before. From Adam and Eve all the way until now. Adam and Eve, when they were born, they never had a life before. When they were born, they were still born, not in the matrix sense, but yeah. But guess what? God gave them instructions on how to live their life because they never had a life before. So since we never had lives before either, we have instructions on how to live these lives. Since we didn't give ourselves these lives, then we have instructions on how to live our lives, right? And women, you have instructions on how to live your lives. Whoever said that your body was yours to do with it what you wanted to do. Same as a man. Man, your body is not yours to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. It was given to you by someone else, so someone else gives you the instructions on what to do with it, or how to do it with it. So that's how I see it. This is delicious. So, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about. I can do this stuff all night, man. We're going on 52 minutes right now, so I guess I'll wrap it up right now. And I don't know, hopefully we can see you guys again sometime. Hopefully somebody will stop by. And don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoy some of the stuff that I'm talking about here. And so I like the platform. I like to be able to have a platform to say what I want to say. It's not to offend nobody or anything, even though it will offend people, but it's just to keep it real, to keep it 100. People probably going to hate me and don't want to say bad stuff about me because of my views. You can force your stuff on me. Well, I'm going to force my stuff back on you. But anyhow, deuces, love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. And if you tuned in, thanks. I appreciate it. Like I said, like and subscribe. Until next time, Boss Talk. Yeah, you know what? That's what we're going to call this. Boss Talk. Deuces.